In the nation's capital, one key topic has been completely brushed aside about Hunter Biden, his decision to join a notorious oligarch who ran a Ukrainian company called Burisma. Now, why did Biden decide to join the oligarch in the first place as a Ukrainian faced criminal charges, and who fled the country rather than stand trial? Richard Pollock from Washington explains.
Here's a question that goes to the heart of today's impeachment proceedings. Just what did Ukrainian oligarch Mykola Zlochevsky do that was so wrong? And what exactly did he do at his Burisma holdings company that aroused anti-corruption prosecutors in both the Ukraine and in Great Britain? And finally, should Hunter Biden have ever joined his company in the first place? These questions have evaporated into thin air in Washington, D.C. But today, One American News is going to examine these specific criminal charges. And to help us answer these questions, we turn to Cheryl Chumley, an opinion editor at the Washington Times, but most importantly, a private investigator. First of all, we know the Ukrainian oligarch held powerful government posts that oversaw the allocation and sale of gas licenses in Ukraine. At the same time, he also was an owner of Burisma, a natural gas company. According to prosecutors, while in charge of the government's energy resources, the oligarch sold to himself lucrative gas licenses at below market prices. As he continued to award licenses to himself, Burisma became the largest independent natural gas company in the entire country. Ms. Chumley explains.
As a government official and as he held the position of co-founder of Burisma, he actually is accused of selling himself under market value oil and drilling contracts.
The oligarch first gave himself the gas licenses when he served as the powerful chairman of the State Committee for Natural Resources in the communist government led by strongman Leonid Kuchma. After Kuchma left, the oligarch was awarded a cabinet-level post as Energy and Ecology Cabinet Minister in the pro-Russian government of President Viktor Yanukovych. Yanukovych himself fled Ukraine in 2014 and now lives in exile in Russia. Ukraine accuses him of treason and of stealing billions of dollars from the country. When Ukrainian prosecutors examined Zlochevsky's business deals, he was indicted for unlawful enrichment. Zlochevsky also operated the country from Cyprus, which is an offshore tax haven and a frequent site for corrupt business practices, as Chumley notes.
The problem was that he ran his private company, Burisma, through Cyprus, which is an offshore tax haven, and not too many people in Ukraine knew about it at the time.
The Wall Street Journal also determined that while serving as chairman of the State Energy Committee, the oligarch revoked a license from one of Ukraine's largest gas fields. And then he awarded the same licenses to himself at Burisma. In March of 2014, an international conference examining corruption in the Ukraine identified Burisma's $23 million of funds that were to be transferred to Cyprus. The British Serious Fraud Office froze the funds. The funds belonged to the oligarch. A month after the conference, Hunter Biden decided to join the Ukrainian company. Biden was paid $50,000 each month. Eventually, he collected $3.4 million from the oligarch. Hunter Biden knew who he was helping. A few months after Biden joined the board, Zlochevsky himself fled to Morocco to escape prosecution. The oligarch was also placed on Ukraine's most wanted list. Still, Biden remained on the board. Chumley reflects on Biden's indifference to these events.
He was placed on the 10 most wanted list for financial crimes. He fled the country, and then in the meantime, Hunter Biden came on board.
Many news organizations have slammed Hunter Biden for serving on the board, and they criticized his father, Vice President Joe Biden, for permitting it at the time. Daria Bullo, a British journalist who was part of a Soros-funded anti-corruption group in the Ukraine, told the Washington Post that Joe Biden should have stopped his son from joining the corrupt politician in the first place. Bullo told the Washington Post, "Why didn't Joe Biden tell Hunter, 'Come off of it. What the hell are you think you're doing?'" Chumley agrees.
How comfortable could he sleep at night taking $50,000 a month for his board position from a guy who had to flee the country?
Chumley's question is one that sits at the center of the Hunter and Joe Biden scandal. For One American News, this is Richard Pollock in Washington.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.